Now, for the latest on preps for the possible weather disruptions in KwaZulu-Natal, we take you to Van where we find our Newzroom Afrika's Nobuhle Modise. Nobuhle, good to speak to you with us this afternoon. We heard the MSc of Transport, Siboniso Duma, speaking earlier, and one of the things that he talked about was salting or brine that they will use in order to clear the freeways. He also talked about the state of readiness of his staff in the province.
Indeed, Hugo. So Siboniso Duma says that they are confident that their plans ahead of that warning by the South African Weather Service are watertight. He's also speaking about the fact that if you speak of the salting and brining process, that's them basically ensuring that the roads or the snowfall or that particular ice does not stick to the ground, and that people are able to travel easier on the road. You would have heard him there say that South Africans are not used to driving in that kind of terrain where there's snow, and so they need to do those kind of things to ensure that the roads are safe. But you would have heard him there also speak about the fact that they have placed traffic officials in strategic areas around 10 routes in the province and between the Free State province and the KwaZulu-Natal province, in collaboration with the Free State province, and you would see their visibility in those main routes, about 10 of them, some of them being the N3 Van Renen Pass to Tugela Plaza to Bergville, N11 Bergville Interchange to Volkras, Escort to Moitol Plaza, and about 5 more of those. So that's where we're expecting visibility on the freeways, and should that weather warning materialize or come to life as predicted by the Weather Service, they are saying that they are ready for that. I mean, as you can see behind me, I'm going to step out of shot so my colleague Sibongiseni can just show you, some of the tools or the vehicles that they'll be using in terms of graders. That's one of the graders that they'll be using. I understand that they have about 23, and also these graders are also placed in strategic areas in and around the province and on the border of the Free State province, and that's what you will see. These are some of the traffic officials that are stationed here, that are meant to be stationed here until this weather warning subsides, or if something happens, they will be here to respond as quickly as possible. Where we are standing here by Van Renen's Pass is that particular satellite station that he's been speaking about. This is the satellite station that they've set up, and we'll see this kind of visibility in those major routes that I've mentioned to you. But yes, like I said, Hugo, he's saying that they are confident that their plans are watertight, and should there be any eventuality, should the weather change as predicted by the Weather Service, then they are ready for that. But also, Hugo, it's been quite sunny for most parts of the day. We aren't seeing any clouds that indicate that there might be heavy rainfall later, but the South African Weather Service has issued a warning, and the Transport Department is having these regular briefings to ensure that the public is informed, and that they heed the calls that should something happen, they should rather delay their trips and come into the province when they are sure that nothing is going to happen. I was trying to speak to the MEC, but he's unfortunately still on a walkabout with some of the traffic officials here, just inspecting, these graders, as I've mentioned. This is one of the graders behind me. I was hoping to have a conversation with him, especially around that salt and brine application that you speak of, where they'd be ensuring that the roads are safe enough if there is snowfall, if there is ice on the roads, for the drivers to be able to use. I think he is making his way to us. Maybe let's give him a chance and we can speak to him so he can expand, Hugo, on the salt and brine process, because I think a lot of people are new to this, especially South Africans, because we are not in an area or a climate doesn't allow for snowfall in the ways that we saw in the past weekend, and so something like this is quite new to everybody, and these are some of the systems that they have in place in order to ensure that everybody is safe should there be snowfall that occurs between tonight, tomorrow, and into Tuesday. I do have the MEC with me here. Thank you very much, MEC. Firstly, I just want you to maybe expand on the issue of the salt and brining process, because a lot of people wouldn't know what that is. Just explain to the public what this means and the actual process that will be taking place as part of your measures to ensure that the roads are safe.
Let me greet your good self and the viewers at home. The salt natural, as you know, that it's a scientific tool. If you pour salt in the water naturally, it will dissipate. As you know, the saturation processes. It is exactly the same scientific experiment that it's part of the clearance services that is being used coming from N3TC. Because we realized that last time the thickness, remember, it started from 3 up to 5, which made it difficult for the traction, which is why people were just blocked. So from now onwards, it's among other application that is going to be started. From there, we take our graders. If it becomes worse, then later on we do the stopping. So those are the tactics in this joint team that we've just embarked on.
And then MEC, you're quite confident that your plans are watertight, and many are questioning whether you feel that the intervention that you made last week when the snow fell and there was a snowstorm was adequate enough. I mean, you would have seen social media posts of people just frustrated at the level of response. Do you feel as a department that you did your best?
I think we must be holistic when it comes to these things, because it will require almost all the stakeholders. The issue of warning from SA Weather Services, once they've issued warning, the first step is that non-essential must not be on the road. I think that's where we must start. And the peripheral party, we've spoken about it last time, that as the department, we might be ready, but as a country, when it comes to snow in spring, it was something that was bizarre. It has never happened in the past. So the issue of proactive this time tells you that as part of adaptation, we must at least start the process. That is why we've already dispatched the team to be on standby, because it's better when you start on time as opposed when it already started snowing. So I think the Free State team is here, RTMC is here, and N3TC have already highlighted that they are here, even the ambulance services, because the issue of emergency is something that we treated differently this time. Yes, we are avoiding disasters, but this is the new normal. Global warming is here to stay with us. So even when we plan, that is why we're saying that we're starting transport month. This is going to be part and parcel of our visibility. When there is the issue of early detection from SA Weather Services, we must adhere to, and we just have to set this team. From today onwards, there will be a station commander who will be based here until Tuesday, which is a key feature for us, because we are able to save lives. We are even able to assist motorists who will be stranded in the processes.
MEC, on Thursday you spoke about the fact that you're engaging major stakeholders, especially in the transport and logistic industry, because we do have 2 ports here in the province, and they are also affected by inclement weather. Just maybe speak to us about what kind of engagements you are having there, and what kind of mitigating factors you have for those specific sectors.
We embark on a strategy of communicating with them on a regular basis. Remember that as government, when we issue warning, it's a collaborative effort. Remember that the ports are also driven by Transnet. It means that they'll just dispatch a memo that in this day there is this, so because they understand who they deal with, who deliver calls, who deliver mails and all those other stuff. So from then onward, we started negotiating with them that on Monday and Tuesday it might be dangerous. So if you could use another route, or if you could shift the consignment, that's what is going to happen. But at least they understand the processes, because it's something that is well known, which is why we also heighten the scope that even the PSL, the chairperson, Manto Shabalala, called us, even the CO, Manto Shabalala called us, and the chairperson, Dr. Ivan Koza, also talked to us because they were in the board. Remember, there's going to be a final on Saturday. They were worried a bit. We said that, yes, adhere to the processes, be skeptical, but obviously we think that on the weekend it will be okay, because it does not only bring tourists and football lovers, but it's part and parcel of the business. So from now onwards, that's how we are going to treat things, and we are going to react positively and proactive, as opposed to be waiting in the process.
Thank you very much. That is the MEC of Transport and Human Settlements in KwaZulu-Natal, Modise, just speaking to us around their plans for inclement weather according to the South African Weather Service. Should there be any eventualities, they are ready, and you can see there's a hive of activity. There are traffic officials here, there are graders here. He's doing a walkabout, and he's been having these kind of briefings regularly to ensure that the public is aware and that they heed calls and take them quite seriously when they come from the South African Weather Service, so we don't see the scenes that we saw last weekend. Hugo.
Nobuhle, before you go, I wonder if you might have had a chance to speak to members of the KZN community in terms of that preparedness? Because one of the biggest challenges last week was that the weather warnings were given, but people did not take heed to those warnings. Do you get the sense that following what we witnessed in the last 10 days or so, that people's minds or attitude has changed to the weather warnings?
I think maybe, Hugo, the issue around weather warnings comes to the fact that how do they get to people on the ground? So us as the media, for example, would receive those warnings time and again, and the warnings are put out there, but is enough being done to ensure that the public are heeding calls? And when you speak to people, many of them would have said, I didn't know about a warning, or I'm not one to check the news bulletin at the end to see what the weather will be like. So this is one of the reasons why we see, a number of the departments in the province, including the Department of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, ensuring that from now on these calls or these warnings by the South African Weather Service are taken seriously, and they are taking it upon themselves to ensure that the message gets across outside of them planning and ensuring that they have mitigating factors in place. They are also making sure that the public, that message is getting down to the ground, and people can also just prepare themselves.